It's the Memphis Sports Network, WMC Memphis, WMFS HD2 Bartlett Memphis, WMFS FM and HD1 Bartlett, WMFS Memphis, ESPN 790 AM and 92.9 FM ESPN.
Watch the sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me, where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time. Take the family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And, boy, we've had a fun time on today's show. And
a lot of champions.
A lot of champions. Just talked to Brandon Polinick. Earlier, we talked to the one and only Sam Heaton. And we're going to talk to a gentleman right now that's feeling pretty good about himself. He's back home in Auburn, but a great victory on one of my favorite places, being from Arkansas, Lake Dardanelle. And that's Steve Kennedy out of Auburn, Alabama, who just walked away with a big victory, 63 pounds, 12 ounces, the Bassmaster Elite Series field on Lake Dardanelle. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
I know you're glad to be here now. How many people have asked you for loans now? I mean, you know, this
I have heard that a few times over the years. I actually have not heard that one in the last.
Okay, well, let us be
Larry
the first.
we'll be the first to ask.
We'll be the first. I mean, this has been quite a year for you, Steve.
How much do you need?
Well, let me think on that for a while. I'm 74 years old. I can think about a lot, but this has been a year for you, Steve. When you think back, second at the Classic, and get this big victory that you really wanted. And you've really paid the price for it. Hats off to you, fella, for the stick-to-ity of this, to stay after it, because this one had to be special, wasn't it?
It was, yes. And, I mean, you're talking about a great season. It's one of those up-down seasons. 2 tournaments ago was one of the worst tournaments, or possibly the worst tournament I've ever had on the Elite Series. So, it's still a pretty typical year for me, up and down. You know, when I hit it good, and when I don't, I miss it.
Well, it's good. Well, it's good to hit a few of them here, man. You've been in a.
And usually the ones I miss are the ones I had the best practice on.
Really?
And you didn't have a very good.
I had the worst practice on, right. And I ended up winning it.
So our listener will say, well, what does he mean by worst practice? Tell us what that means. What?
I mean, the first day of practice was not all that bad. I went out through a swim jig. I had a bunch of bites, you know, a lot of 11-inch fish. Not sure I even had a keeper bite out of them, but it was pretty obvious they were up in that water willow stuff, and you know, I could get bit doing that. And then I found one area that I could flip that I had 20 bites, and I was pretty excited about it. Other than I knew a lot of people typically fish that area, so but yeah, I went. Day 2, I fished all day in that Illinois bayou where so many fish were caught. I fished all day in there and had one keeper bite.
Keeper bite.
I think it had to do with weather, water dropping. You know, just usually I have that day the first day of the tournament or second day of the tournament. So it's actually a good thing I got it out of the way in practice. And then And then day 3, I actually went back around, especially that area where I had 20 bites. I wanted to go see if anybody had hurt it or anything. And I only had 3 bites in there in practice on the last day. So
wow.
somewhere around 11:30, I decided I'm going to run all the way up to that lock. And, we had to be back at 4:30 for our meeting. I ran 50 miles up the river last minute looking for a glory hole, and
50.
I managed to find one.
50 miles, that's 100 miles round trip. Then you burned some gasoline on this tournament.
I did, yeah.
And
I burned 25 plus every day. Which,
Steve,
wow.
but you had a faster boat to do it this year,
I had a
too.
much faster boat, and fast also equates into efficiency on the water. So, yeah, I'm making better than 3 miles a gallon wide open, and almost 4.5 when I'm cruising. So I bet I could push 5.
Well, I think that's a long way from, if I'm not mistaken, you bought a boat one time, had no motor and had nothing inside of it, and put
to
it
qualify for FLW to get in as a Ranger boat owner. Yes, we bought a boat on my parents found it. And, paid $1,500 for a Ranger, so I qualified as a Ranger boat owner.
Wow.
Get into FLW. And that was
those were the days.
Years ago or more, I'm not sure.
Well, I just remember that, and I remember you toiled some time as a non-boater too, right?
Not on the elite tour, not on the
but early in your career.
I did the Everstarts for a while.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
but,
back in those days.
I spent a lot of years in the Redman as a non-boater.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
I spent a lot of years doing that, and then they changed the format to that Pro Co format.
Yeah.
Around the year 2000, and all of a sudden I couldn't get in. I couldn't believe how many non-boaters showed up when they did that. But, it actually forced me to go as a boater with my little bass tracker.
There he goes.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah.
And ended up winning over the next 2 seasons. I won 4 BFLs and or Redmans back then. And,
yeah.
And that was the money that got me started.
It jump-started.
You boat with no motor.
It's amazing, and again,
it's a pretty good story.
It's a great story. Talking to Steve Kennedy here, because I know Steve and Ron's just biting at the bullet to ask you these things, and I'm thinking about the way your career started and the way things have progressed throughout your career. That you've had that desire to you got your college education, mechanical engineering. I don't know how many.
92 from Auburn, yeah.
I don't know how many mechanical engineers are out there on the Bass Elite Tour.
No, but he can fix his stuff.
That's
what I was just saying.
Unit himself on the water.
Yeah,
I think Matt Lee has an engineering degree.
I think you're
Yeah,
right.
Sure
that's right.
it is.
That's right. It is. Yeah.
And, I mean, a lot of the guys I run into fishing have engineering degrees. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, it's helped you as a
I don't know how
fixer.
many are on the elite tour, but yeah, there are a lot of guys fishing with engineering degrees.
Well, I think that's great
The
that
whole
you.
complexity of the weather, how everything plays together is, one of the most complex problems we look at. So yeah, I've run into a lot of engineers out there fishing.
Well, Ron was saying how many Ron, you was talking about the boat problems that people had at Dardanelle. They were fixing
Replacing lower units on the
replacing
water.
your lower units on the water.
Yes. I mean, yes. When the water gets high like that, you can't see the stuff. I hit
That's
something
right.
going up. I mean, there's huge logs coming down, and I never hit one of those, but I did hit a smaller one that it was interesting second or two there. But everything kept going, so
You kept going.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, you told us that we're in attendance there at the tournament on Dardanelle. How you found that one particular spot that really gave you the fish that won it for you, the 5+ pounder?
Yeah.
How did you tell us how you actually found that
okay.
ball bait, quarry,
like
whatever
I said
you
earlier,
want to call it.
practice down there in the lake, I was getting some bites, but I just, I didn't feel good like I found anything that that was different. You know what I mean? Everybody was fishing the same stuff. I did not feel confident at all that I could catch fish for 2 days in a row down there. So, yeah, I made a big run up there to the lock. The floodgates are open. It's kind of a deal I like to play with. I love fishing moving water. So, yeah, I ran up there. The water around the lock was unfishable. It was white capping in the mouth of a lock. I've never seen anything like it. It was
Really?
big.
That's,
Big, huge waves, standing waves. I mean, it was big.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I couldn't fish the river. There was one creek over there on one side that I went in. It was absolutely full of bait, gar, everything, but I never had a bass bite in it. I still to this day believe they're in there, but I hadn't figured out how to catch them at the time, and never got a bite. And I didn't stay in there long. You know what I mean? I don't have much time once I got up there. So.
No, not if you're traveling that far. And we're talking to Steve Kennedy.
Right. I didn't head up there till 11:30 on third day of practice, and we had to be back for a meeting at 4:30. So I ran up there, went in one creek, didn't get a bite. Coming back down, I found there's a big tower out there with a levee that was actually, big enough to make an eddy.
Uh-huh.
And I got one bite off a bush up there in the main river. I mean, I was protected from all those waves, but I had a bite, and it got me, kept me up there for another 30 minutes.
It was all about time.
Floating down with a current, and I realized there's a pond over, I call it a levee or a road, whatever. I mean, it's almost level with the river.
Yeah.
Right over there. And I'm like, but I didn't see the opening when I went by it. And, so, yeah, I'm sitting there poking around, finally figure out how to get in there. It's not hard. It's just obscured by willows. So it's still 4.5 feet deep getting in there. So, but yeah, once I got up in there, I probably didn't have 20 minutes to fish, and I had 5 or 6 bites. Most of them looked like little ones, but I did see 2 keepers, 2.5 pound class fish, and it certainly, in the time I was in there, I didn't feel like it was a winning fish. It was just, I felt like I could run up there and get me a keeper or 2, and
well, I know, Steve.
I really thought somebody else was going to be there. You know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking. You don't know what you're going to.
How could nobody find me?
Everybody stayed at Illinois.
Everybody was in Illinois Bayou. That's where
right.
everybody was. And before we let you go, Steve, I know your family means a lot to you. And Ron was telling about your family was there to share this moment with you, right?
Yes, correct. They haven't been traveling a whole lot because they've been in school. So, yeah, this is the first one they're back traveling with me. They went to the Classic, too, and they've been here. So,
well, when I
look, maybe a correlation.
It is, because I looked on there, and you say your hobbies are kids, tennis, and fly fishing.
Yeah, and I don't play tennis much during the season because of what it'll do to my elbow. But fly fishing, any kind of fishing, crappie fishing.
It doesn't make any difference.
Saltwater fishing.
But your family comes first, and that's one of the things that a lot of folks. Well, you got a lot of fans here in Memphis, Tennessee, Steve. Thank you for. I know this has been a time short.
We're gonna stay with you, Steve.
Yeah.
Stay up with you, and
okay.
have you on again.
Yeah, we'll do it again, buddy, and keep saving that gas. And if you find a boat for $1,500, just go ahead and buy it from me.
I got a good one right now.
Oh, okay, he's got a good one now. Okay, well, I'll send
War
you.
Eagle.
War Eagle. There you go.
Hey, tell Brasher that the next time you see him.
Oh, you had to bring Brasher into the conversation here. Okay, yeah. Tell Brian hello for us. Okay. All right, Steve. We'll talk to you, buddy. All right.
Thank you.
All right. We got the one and only Graybeard Adventure on hold with us right now, and were we going to talk to him now, or you want to take a break? Right. Let's take a break, then come back and talk to the Graybeard Adventure on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
You can find out all